There's so many things that are within your means, within your control that you can do. Imagine your business is a castle. So within your castle, within your wall, things like security, communication within your business, staff, you can make sure that they're happy. And let me see. Oh, it's stuck. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's coming. I guess I was too quickly. And systems that you can make sure that they're running properly, right? But what happened outside the wall? What are there outside the wall? Are there danger out there? Things like maybe hijacker, people or your business relation that are unhappy. And more importantly, you might have your customer that are unhappy with your performance, your network performance. They can write you bad reviews on Google, right? So the world outside your wall is kind of like an entanglement. There's even dragon probably. So my name is Lia Hestina. I work from the RIPE NCC, and today I'm going to talk to you about minimizing impact when incident happen using RIPE Atlas. So let me start with what RIPE Atlas is. I'm sure many of you here have heard about RIPE Atlas already, but let me give a short introduction. So RIPE Atlas is an internet measurement platform that consists out of thousands of vantage points. At the moment, there are more than 12,000 vantage points connected out there, and it's funded by RIPE NCC members and also sponsors. So what is the goal of this project? The goal is to give you access of your internet reachability. So not only being able to see your connectivity within your network or from your network outside, but also from outside, from all these vantage points towards your network. And the probes, they're hosted by volunteers. They're connected around the world, and we use a credit system to make it fair for everyone. So it doesn't matter if you are a small company or a big company, you all have the same access. And the data that we collected from all these probes, we made it publicly available. So at the RIPE NCC, we understand the importance of giving access to not only technical community, but also the non-technical community. That's why we made RIPE Atlas accessible via the graphic user interface. But if you are an engineer, you can also access RIPE Atlas using API or CLI tool. So most people, when they hear RIPE Atlas for the first time, and then maybe you were asked, oh, can you connect this tiny device into your network? The first question that may arise is, what does it do? What does this tiny device do? Is it safe? Is it listening to my traffic? So RIPE Atlas is only measuring the performance, such as the ping. So it measures the latency and the route. So you can run trace route measurement to know where the route is going through. And you can also run a DNS measurement to know if your DNS server is reachable from a period of time, certain time. Another measurement is NTP measurement and also SSL/TLS. And the last but not least, this measurement, we have what we call RIPE Atlas anchors. So you can use these anchors to run HTTP measurement as a target. So this is where the probes are right now connected. We have more than 12,000 probes. So as you can see that there's a lot of probes connected within Europe. So it's important to have a good diversity of where this probe is located. So we have many requests from ASN that has already probes, but we have to, we have to deny those requests, because having extra probes where in an ASN where there are already many probes located, it's not really useful for the community. So going back to how do you minimize the impact when incident happen? Let's talk about the coping mechanism when incident happen or before even incident happen, and how you can use RIPE Atlas in this. So you can escape. There is a meme that says, if it works, don't touch it. I think the question is, when incident happens, how much it will cost me? How long it will impact me? How will it impact my customer? And then you have what I call the defend, like gearing up coping mechanism. This is like when you want to give the best to your customer, you want to make sure that you know your customer. You want to make sure how they are experiencing in connecting to you. And what are your capabilities? What can you do? Do you have a good coping mechanism? And the last is what I call taking action. So you have all this, you're all armed with knowledge, information, tools. What do you do with this? You can show your performance. You can make sure that your performance is doing well. So let me give you an example of a use case that we have with one of the user of RIPE Atlas and how he used this coping mechanism in order to help him in his operational day-to-day job. So let's meet Mbappe. Mbappe works for an online gaming company, and they run their own LAN in several countries, and it's a gaming company, so they have users around the world. And Mbappe faced some problems because the gamers, they're complaining to him like, hey, your latency is high. They're quite impatient, right? Not only they're coming from different countries, they're also coming from different networks. How do you deal with that? So it's a real-time application, so it's quite unpredictable. Let's see what Mbappe did in order to do this. So he gear up. What he did was he wanted to make sure that all this network where the gamers are complaining from, that he has probes there. Remember I told you that RIPE Atlas has already many vantage points. There are like more than 12,000 in this world. So he installed extra probes and strategically. And then what he did was he started running measurement towards these networks. I believe it was his DNS server. So he ran this measurement from all these vantage points where the gamers were complaining about. And then what he did, he create alerts. So whenever something happened, that he will be notified, I don't know, when something taking more than 20 milliseconds, he will be notified. So Mbappe all armed, he did what he needed to do. And then now the action. What does he do with all this information? The measurement result, the probes that, he has already out there. So what does he do with this? With this information, he can identify issues such as latency issues, routing issues swiftly, even before his customer notice in the future. But now, of course, there's already a problem, right? But in the future, when he's all geared up, when he's all armed with his tool and capability, he can do his things fast. He can make sure that he debug all this problem on time and maintain low latency. And then the last but not least, the most important part, he can showcase this situation. He can show his customer how good his network is performing. And this is an example of that specific use case. So this is the first measurement that Mbappe ran. Here he spotted the issues. So he's running measurement from all these probes from different ASN. And the first thing that he spot is the latency is so high, more than 200 milliseconds. You can imagine if you're a gamer and the connection is more than 200 milliseconds, you will go crazy, I think. And then what happened? He identified that. Remember I told you that with RIPE Atlas, you can also see the route, the path it's taking. So he can see where the problem is. Where is the problem? Is it going outside the country? Can he reduce the path? And then with this information, he can talk to his peer, talk to anyone who can reduce and improve the round trip time. And then what happened? After he did all this, the next measurement that he did with the same measurement, and the result is like amazing. It's like 4 milliseconds. So you can imagine from more than 200 milliseconds to 4 milliseconds. So this is approximately what you can do with RIPE Atlas, how you can utilize this tool. So it was a hooray moment. The performance is improved, the shorter path is selected, and with RIPE Atlas, you can test as much as you want, as much as you need, without having the headache of, oh, how much is it going to cost me if I use 10 vantage point? Is it going to cost me $10 per vantage point? Is it having a subscription? No, RIPE Atlas is there to serve you. And Service Desk, they love RIPE Atlas because they can run their own measurement and then they can validate their findings. So let me prepare you with some statistic of what RIPE Atlas see in South Africa and Kenya. So this is more or less where the probes are located in Africa. So you can use all of this vantage point to run measurement towards your network. And we have around 86 probes connected in South Africa, thanks to RIPE Atlas ambassadors. They are helping us in educating others, spreading the words about RIPE Atlas. And we have 11 anchors. So last year, there was one use case that the user is asking us. The network operator who's asking this to us, they want to know, where is my network seen, and what RIPE Atlas sees in my network. So this is an example of use case. This is a prototype. So it has its limitation. So how do you read this? This is more or less, it's color coded. So the more green, the lower the latency, and every hexagon meaning the number of probes that we have in that location. So here you see the mean RTT of one largest ASN in South Africa. I'm using the largest network based on the eyeball network in several countries. So you can see the difference in what we see through RIPE Atlas at a certain time of this network. So you can see approximately where this ASN is operating. It's in South Africa. And where do we see this ASN? We see them in Europe with not so good latency. But what do we see in Kenya, for example? This AS in Kenya, you can see that it is indeed operating in Kenya. We don't have that many probes in Kenya, but if you look here, this AS is seen with better latency than the previous picture in Europe. And here's what we see in Mali. We don't have that many probes in Mali. The latency looks much better than the previous one. It's also seen in North America. But what's interesting in this picture is that this AS from Mali is not really seen anywhere here. I don't know why that is, but it's something to find out. So like I said, this is a prototype. If you think you can use this data and you know that you think it will be better if we show other visualization or other data, we have the data out there. It's just we want to hear from you how we can make this prototype more useful to you. So we want to hear your feedback. This is another example. Oh, okay. This example is from the probe host point of view. So this probe is showing what are the latencies from the networks within my neighborhood. So is this if this ASN are important to this network, then you might want to talk with them and make sure that the latency is low. Yeah, this is another example. So like I said, at the RIPE NCC, we try to make process the data because there's so much potential out there where we might be able to visualize it and make it useful for your use case. And this is an interesting one. If you're interested whether the path between network stays local, you can have a look at this, what we call country IXP JEDI. So here you can see that in South Africa, we have many probes, and so that it's listed all the ASN here. What's interesting is that all the dark brown cells and all the light brown cells. So the dark brown cells, between the path between these ASNs, there's an IXP found, and that's local IXP found. That's important. But is the path still going outside the country? Yes. Do you want this? Is this something that you know? Or would you prefer that the path remain local? You can see this using RIPE Atlas. The data that we get from this is from Routing Information Service and Peering DB. So I come to the end of my presentation. We made a list of all the ASN where we still want to have probes so that it can be useful for the local community, because the more diverse where the probes are located, the more it can be useful to your use case. And then let me just quickly recap of what we talked about, why people love RIPE Atlas. We have really good coverage, more than 12,000 probe connected out there, and it's from trusted source. So RIPE NCC is a non-profit organization. The volunteers is just people like you and me. They put it in end user network, in offices or data centers. And RIPE Atlas has been there since 2010. So it's been trusted by the people. It's safe and secure because we run third-party review, security review, and we share the data with we share the results with the community. It's an open data because all the measurement results that we collected, it's made publicly available. It's from the community for the RIPE NCC and for the community. So without your contributions, RIPE Atlas will not work. It will not be there. It's from the community, for the community. And the last but not least, there's no money involved. It's a fair use. So everyone has the same access. Everyone has the same right. Unless if you want to sponsor RIPE Atlas, you can do that. But for everyone, it's just fair use. And I say it's the best internet measurement in the world. So what do you do now? So let's say you need to try RIPE Atlas. So you can create an account, RIPE NCC access account, and then if you want, you can install probes in your network and then I have here a voucher that you can use. So I mentioned we use the credit system. So if you have credits, you can run your own measurement. And this credit is has a value of 500,000 credits. You can start running tests. You can start measuring the performance of your network. And for those of you who have already RIPE Atlas connected or disconnected at home, please make sure to check it from time to time and get it reconnected. And that's the end of my presentation. I think these slides will be available online. So here, there are also other, every country in Africa with the list of most wanted ASN where we still want to have probes. So if you have any question, feel free. I'm here until the end of the week. So thank you everyone for bearing with me here.
Thank you very much, Leah. That was most interesting. And I would like to encourage people who are in ASNs that do not already have RIPE Atlas probes to get one or two. It's really very easy. You get the small little device. It's got an Ethernet